Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Thursday, the 6th of December. Starting off with Very Bison, where there's been a reasonable push up through the 50-day and 200-day moving averages. Obviously, we had that full storm move in September with the gap higher, but I suppose that even that, at least the shares did actually hold relatively well and have tracked sideways rather than too much on the downside. The overall target here, while we hold above the 50-day line, in blue at 1.5 pence is as high as 3 to 3.5 pence, which would be the top of the trend channel from May. Moving on to Jkx Oil Gas, and here we can see that shares managed to deliver a bear trap rebound from below the 200-day moving average, rising at 30 pence. That was at least a positive. Situation now is that we really need to regain the 50-day line at 38, 39 pence. If we can do that, then we would be on for possible retest of October resistance, but well worth waiting for the 50-day line there before regarding this as being back in play fully as a bullish situation. Stock that I've got a personal interest in, and just in terms of wanting to see if there is going to be a lasting recovery here, is Lonmin. We had the bull trap through the 200-day moving average in October. Shares trying to push again above the 200-day line at 48.5 pence. End of day or a weekly close above that could at least give us a retest of the October peak through 60p. A lot of interest for some reason in the next stock. Had quite a number of requests. Emporium Group. Probably quite right in the sense that we've got a falling wedge here. We need to break the 50-day moving average and the top of the wedge at 5 pence. If we can do that, then the shares could sweep up towards the old June-July resistance at 7 pence plus stop loss this stage back below 4.25 pence. Quite logical. Possible recovery here, although early days, is Mayan Energy. There is a falling wedge formation which typically can give birth to a recovery. 0.21 is the top of the wedge. 0.24 is the 50-day moving average, probably given the way that the shares have failed at the 50-day line since May. One would want to see an end of week or end of day close at least above the 50-day moving average before assuming a lasting recovery is on the way. Orosur Mining delivered for the bulls earlier in the year with a beautiful move in September. We'll need to see it break the top of this wedge at 7.25 pence and the 50-day line for a retest of 12 pence plus, which is what we saw then. Ideally, there's no break back below 6 pence. Which is just around the area of the September support line. Predator Oil is next, and here, interestingly, on the just at a resistance line there from September, that's around 7.5 pence, 7.3 pence to be accurate. End of day close, end of week close above that, and we could revisit 10 pence. Obviously, we've had resistance quite solidly in the 8 pence zone since October. But the plus here over the last couple of weeks has been the gap through the 50-day moving average, and that's been held quite well. So one would have thought the momentum here will take the shares through quite quickly. Regal Petroleum is next, a semi-request, I would say, on this stock. Here we've got a similar setup to that of Jkx in the sense that we need to break the 50-day line after a recovery, bear trap recovery from below 40 pence. In this case, line of resistance from November at 48 as well, so end of day, end of week close above 48, and we could head up to 65 at the top of a July rising trend channel. Finishing off with Thomas Cook, which I forgot to update yesterday, although I had it on the runway, let's say. There was a gap at 34 pence, which was filled initially today, so that was a target after the bounce on the May support line. Probably at this stage, given how miserable the outlook for the stock is on a fundamental basis, one would want to see an end of day close above 34 pence before penciling in a best case scenario target here at 45. Otherwise, one would expect the shares just to drift back to 20 pence again. That's it from me. More updates tomorrow.